News in Waterbury. The woman accused of holding her stepson captive for more than 2 decades, pleading not guilty to the assault and kidnapping charges in court this morning. Let's get right to our Eva Zamaris, who is in the courtroom this morning and has reaction from both sides of this case. Eva.
Darren, her appearance lasted about 10 minutes this morning, and as you mentioned, her attorney entering a not guilty plea on her behalf. Now today, inside Waterbury Superior Court, the judge heard the state's argument to modify the conditions of Sullivan's release, the state wanting those conditions to include electronic monitoring with house arrest or GPS monitoring. But Sullivan's attorney argued that would set a dangerous precedent, adding his client has been following her conditions closely. The judge ultimately decided to order GPS monitoring, and Sullivan's attorney entered a not guilty plea on Sullivan's behalf and selected a jury trial. As you mentioned, outside of court, we heard from the victim's biological mother and Sullivan's attorney. Take a listen.
What does justice look like? That everybody that was in that household is in prison, in solitary confinement, and they could be fed 2 cups of water a day.
I know everyone wants to crucify her, everyone's already convicted her, but that's not how this works, and it's not how it's going to work. And the burden is not going to shift to the defense. The burden rests on the state. They got to prove these allegations in court, and we're a long way from that.
Again, Sullivan is accused of holding her stepson captive for more than 20 years, locking him away in a room and starving him for decades. We did hear from the state inside of court today saying the victim is afraid and continues to live in fear. Now, Sullivan is currently out on bond and she'll be back here in court next month. Live in Waterbury this afternoon, I'm Eva Zamaris, News 8.